Welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas visiting with Joe Klink from Provia. So they really transformed your job description into being Haiti outreach, or what in the world?
I didn't shed any responsibilities at that
they
time.
Added it.
They just permitted me to do this as part of my job. And,
wow.
And so one of the first things we did was we went back down to Haiti, and like I said, we worked with the Haitian architect to design what needed to be built. And Provia graciously funded the development of those plans and so on. But then in our industry, in the building industry, there's what's called the International Builders Show, which that year was held in Las Vegas, where most major building manufacturers gather for a trade show. And so I had printed up some cards that said, we're building a home for 50 orphan children, and you could help. And it had my contact information on the back. And I just went around to the different people, the different manufacturers, and just shared the vision. And I wasn't selling, but if I was, it was such an easy sell because people get it. They understand that when there's human suffering, that in this case, for-profit businesses have the opportunity to help. And I went from booth to booth talking to different people, and very few people gave me a cold shoulder. Most people were very warm. And out of that, we got so many product commitments. The end result of that and some other pleas for building manufacture or building materials was that we shipped 2 40-foot containers to Haiti with building materials.
Wow.
And, just to name some local area businesses, Jacob and Levi's down in Sugar Creek, they donated all the beds and dressers. Keim Lumber and Charm, they donated the electrical and the insulation for the roof. Premier Metals down in Walnut Creek donated the metal roofing. Stark Truss donated the trusses. Shark Bite, which is out of the area, donated a lot of the plumbing. Fortress Railing, PGT Windows, Lauren Illuminations down in Dover, they donated not only high-efficiency lights for the new building, but for the whole facility to try to save energy there. Gerber Plumbing. I mean, a lot of companies came together. And going back to PGT Windows, Provia makes windows. And through one of our dealers that is also a PGT window dealer, PGT said, hey, we want to provide the windows for this because we manufacture a hurricane window because that PGT's down in Florida. And we're like, this project is not about whose brand wins. This project is about coming together and, providing for these children in Haiti a nice, safe place to live.
Yeah. How about the manpower then? My older son, did a missions trip to Haiti. There they were, these big college guys. They said these small-framed Haitian men were the hardest workers you've ever seen. These big college guys were like, I got to take a break. And these men did not stop working all day long.
Well, especially us from Ohio. I mean, we're not used to that heat and humidity, especially in the middle of summertime.
Exactly.
And we got to be real careful about, sweating too much. But, we try to use the Haitian laborers when we can. In fact, all the excavation was done by Haitians. All of the concrete work, and there was a ton of concrete work was done by Haitians. We hired Haitians because we don't want to come in and say, we're going to provide this for you. It's like we want to partner with you. We want to provide employment to the area. We want to help the economy in the area. And so it's in partnership. But then on the flip side, we have several teams in the States that are waiting for me to call upon them to go down and install some product or do some painting or whatever. And I think that's good too because there's a verse in Lamentations that says, my eyes have affected my heart. And I think if we can get people to come down and see it as they're painting or as they're installing toilets or whatever, and they see the children, they interact with them, my eyes affect my heart. And they'll have a heart for it because honestly, Haiti is the most impoverished country in the Western Hemisphere. It's just hard to imagine it unless you've been there, the level of poverty. And there's the need for help really is there. So to take care of these children, and some people ask, why don't the Haitians take care of their own children? Why don't the Haitians adopt? Well, a lot of them just don't have the means to do that. They're barely scraping by taking care of their own family, let alone other children. And I know there's exceptions to that, but by and large, that seems to be the story. So.
I remember something about the median income. I can't even remember what it was, but it's just in our worldview, in our minds, in our reality, you don't know how a person could live for a month on that.
Yeah, median income is measured in single digits.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do they get by?
It's hard to understand how they get by. Very meagerly. In fact, I was down there last week, in fact, and we shipped our last container, so I went down to receive it, make sure it got securely stored and so on. And we hired some Haitian men to come and unload the container for us. Well, at the end of that, one of the men asked if he could have some of the packaging that we had shipped down, some plywood, some 2x4s and so on. And I'm like, what do you need it for? He's like, well, I'm still living in a temporary house, which is like a shanty, and it's starting to leak, and I could really use this to patch it up. I'm like, by all means, take it.
Yes.
And so it's really hard to imagine. One thing you rarely see in Haiti is overweight people.
Right.
They're thin, because they just don't eat a whole lot.
Right. And they work hard.
Yeah, when you hire them, they're hard workers, no doubt about it.
Well, what they were doing was stirring cement, and they were stirring.
I know.
And it was just standing there stirring and stirring and stirring, and they did it all day long and never stopped.
The one day that we poured the second-story floor of the facility, we had about 100 Haitians there, and it was people bringing in aggregates and concrete and stirring it, and then with 5-gallon buckets taking it up the ladders onto the roof, and people pouring it, people spreading it. It was like a bee's hive.
Wow.
And the contractor that we've he volunteers his time just like the rest of us, Jason Ramsey out of Texas. At lunch break that day, he actually took time to sit him down and share the gospel with him.
Oh,
and
wow.
And that's really what it's about. It's about reaching people for the Lord.
And I would think their eyes would affect their hearts as well. They're seeing you come to town. Here are these people who have come into our country. You don't have to do that. And here you are helping them rebuild and provide a home for homeless children, provide a place for children with no families to be cared for.
Yeah, I would hope that they see that as well. I mean, ultimately, what good is it if we provide food, shelter, clothing, and the person dies and goes to hell?
Yes.
I mean, how horrible would that be? So
most important thing.
The most important thing. And
but they can't hear it if they're hungry and cold.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I love so much about this particular ministry, No Place Like Home, because there's other, as you can imagine, there are tons of orphanages and organizations that care for people. And there are some that they just take care of the physical, which, okay, good for them. But, that's what I love about this, is that the physical is a means to sharing their most desperate need, which is spiritual.
Mm-hmm. In your time there, have you gotten a chance to interact with some of the children?
Oh, yeah.
Orphanage?
I love the children.
Tell me about the children.
Well, there's so many stories I could share with you. One, Obed by name, he came a few months before we went down there on our first trip in 2014, and he was just a baby at the time. He needed a blood transfusion immediately, and he was a rather sick child. And since that time, he's also been diagnosed with congenital cataracts. But
my.
he seems like a very happy boy. Well, if you ever go onto the orphanage website, click through to the Facebook page and scroll down, there's a video of Obed, and a couple in Texas agreed to bring him to the States to care for him, while a doctor in Texas agreed to provide medical care for him and is taking care of the cataracts.
Wow.
And it's a really heartwarming video, really neat story. Mika is another one. She's got cystic fibrosis, and when she's sick, boy, she looks down. But when she's not, she's just got the sweetest smile. She grabs my heart every time she smiles at me. A girl by the name of Jael, when I went down, I think it was a year and a half ago, I brought a guitar. And brought a guitar that one of my coworkers, Betty, at Provia had donated to take down. And I sat down to teach her how to play. And I have never experienced it to where she picked it up just like that. I played a chord, gave it to her, she played a chord.
Wow.
I played the next one, she played the next one, and so on. And by the time I left that week, she was playing songs.
Oh, honey.
And I think I left on a Friday, and I got a Facebook message from her Sunday evening saying, "Joe, you'll never guess what I did today. I played my guitar and sang in church today.
Oh, how beautiful.
And it was neat. So,
and I love that they've got Facebook.
yeah.
She's messaging you through
Seriously.
Facebook. Oh, my goodness. Where can we find the website to find out more and to see more?
The website is the initials for No Place Like Home, which is nplhome.org. So that's nplhome.org.
Okay. Is there anywhere we can help?
Absolutely.
How?
Well, we're building this new facility, and the industry has come together. We've raised, I should say, God has provided so much funds. We still have about $150,000 that we need for that, but we're confident God will bring that in. The ongoing need is then the cost to run it. You know, when you build that kind of a structure, this new building is going to house an additional 50 children. So No Place Like Home will be able to care for 80 children. Well, with that, you have to hire more nannies, cooks, more medical expenses, more education expenses, and so on. And so that's really where the ongoing need is just for people to come alongside and partner with them. Now, I would encourage them also, take a missions trip. You know, everybody that takes mission trips come back and says, take a mission trip. But
yes,
really,
that's right.
Really do it. You know, if you have at all the means to do that, do it. But if not, you know, just, you know, I hope that this broadcast has touched your heart somehow to where you can get on, take a look, see what the need is, and come alongside and partner with us.
NPL Home at...
No, it's nplhome.org.
Oh, nplhome.org.
.org.
And is there a Facebook page that people can see some pictures?
There is. Probably the
and stuff
easiest way to do that is go to the website, nplhome.org. Right on the homepage, there's a big Facebook link.
Click on that.
Click on that. There's constantly content being updated, photos being posted, and videos on there. So, yeah.
Does the orphanage have a name?
Well, No Place Like Home is.
No Place Like Home is the orphanage
That is the name of the orphanage, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's become a home to so many,
Right.
to up to 80 children.
Well, once this new facility gets built, yeah.
And target date for that to be finished?
I was hoping it would have been last year. But,
Yeah.
you know, anybody that ever constructs in Haiti, you have a saying, this is Haiti. You know, it just takes longer. But
Wow.
I am personally hoping that by this time next year we can start moving children in. But it really depends on the funding. We can't take the next stages of the construction until those funds come in.
Well, if you've heard this, don't be... Yes, ask, should I give? But be definitely asking, how much should I give? Not just, should I give?
Yeah. And
Because
people,
absolutely we should all participate with this.
right. If it's not this, yeah, we should be people that are giving. I mean, God has blessed us so much. We should be giving and not hoarding. You know, to something about God's work. But
Really,
you
what
know,
are you going to spend it on that's more important?
Right, exactly. You know, if people want to contact me, can I give my email address?
Please do.
Okay, it's joe.klink, that's Klink, joe.klink@provia.com.
Easy enough. Love seeing our corporations reach out in this kind of a way. Joe Klink, thank you for what you're doing in our community.
All right, thank you, Susie.